Offside Sports continues to the Loft 100 studios in Southern California, presented by 8 Beer. Quality in, quality out. Find out all about them at 8beer.com. And a thank you to Harry Arnett, Mark Wahlberg, everybody at Municipal for being the official wardrobe sponsor of Offside Sports. Municipal, bet on yourself. Find them at municipal.com. Baseball season, spring training underway. Everyone's out there. We're having exhibition games, spring training games, etc. As we all kind of look forward to the to pitch number one,
yes,
Dave, of the season. But man, I'm telling you, there is going to be a cloud hanging over the 2026 season in Major League Baseball because of it. I mean, everybody and their mother's saying, yeah, there's going to be a lockout.
Well, not only that, you're seeing teams already who are saying they're all in right now of trying to win a championship this year, and then you have teams saying we're all out. And it is very strange that the team that is all in is the closest to the team that's saying we're all out this week. So you have the Dodgers, who are 26 miles away from the Angels. And the Dodgers obviously have gone all in with the biggest payroll and the biggest stars in the game, and they're two-time defending champs. And then you have down the freeway, you have the Angels, who owner comes out and says, guess what? Winning a championship isn't even in our top 5 of priorities. So you have a problem in Major League Baseball when you have owners that are telling their fan bases, we have no desire to compete.
Please buy those tickets, though.
Yeah, please buy the tickets. And so you have a team that has Mike Trout, one of the best players in the game, but to say affordability is what matters? No, the scoreboard is what matters.
Yeah.
Fans will tell you the scoreboard is what matters, and you want to come up with hope that my team has a chance, somehow can pull a miracle and be in it and make a run. And we've seen teams, Mike, in the past that have gone from last place to the World Series the very next year.
Sure.
And for the Angels to be in that situation, it's ridiculous. And there are certain owners that need to get out of this game.
Artie Moreno is probably one,
yes,
the owner of the Angels. Allison, when, you know, and we say lockout, there is a chance that a lockout could happen, but both sides would get to the negotiating table and, you know, round the clock negotiations and try to hammer out a new collective bargaining agreement. And we would have, you know, normal spring training. Guys would go back to the facilities, be able to train and stuff. And it would kind of happen without really a lot of hullabaloo. But it doesn't sound, Allison, like this is going to be the case because of Major League Baseball owners. They want a salary cap. And there's no way in heck that the Players Union, the strongest in all professional sports, is going to say, okay, no problem, we'll give you a salary cap.
No, and it's such a problem because they're so far apart on that issue. And so how are they going to come together? There's going to have to be a compromise, and it's going to have to come quickly. I would imagine that the players are both sides are going to have to give. Do players want to prolong this and stretch this out and ruin the time they have left? Everybody knows how finite their careers are. They don't have a lot of years. And so you hope that both sides will give a little and come to a compromise, because the other problem is I feel like baseball has surged in the last, 3 to 5 years, maybe 5 years, let's say. I feel like it has really surged again. People are interested. They're watching. They're going to games. It's fun again. Do we want to lose all of that? People will lose interest. We all know with social media, our attention spans are this big. They've got to get this fixed, and they've got to do it quickly.
Dave, my own personal opinion is I don't think you will ever see a salary cap in Major League Baseball.
You won't.
And if that literally is a lot of baseball writers and pundits are calling it, that is the tent pole of the owner's argument when it comes to negotiations or a potential lockout. I don't see this ending quickly after they officially lock out the players once the 27th season's over.
The thing is, Mike, business is booming right now. Just like Allison said, baseball right now has never done as well as it's doing right now.
It's a license to print money.
Just watch the World Series.
Yeah.
And what's going on in the Japanese market is something that can't be ignored. Again, if you go to Dodger spring training right now, there are over 120 to 150 Japanese media just there for the Dodger players. It's one of those, it's worldwide. It's what the NFL always wanted. The NFL right now, everyone knows, is the #1 league. Major League Baseball has made significant ground up in the last few years. And baseball has changed from when you and I were young and we'd go to games in Southern California. And if you went to, let's say a Padre game in the early 90s, and you had Tony Gwynn, you had Fred McGriff, you had future Hall of Famers, Gary Sheffield was there, Tony Fernandez, the four tops, remember?
Yeah.
Yet you would drive by the stadium and you would see 16,000 people at most in a 50,000 seat stadium.
Yep.
These stadiums and ballparks are selling out, and Petco Park is incredible. The Dodgers, what they're doing are incredible. This is not East Coast bias anymore. The West Coast is showing up, but then you still have the Yankees and you have the Red Sox doing well. Even the fields look great on TV. Do you remember when we were young?
Oh.
And you can go back and look. There are patches of
Look like
dead grass.
goat farms.
Yeah, and the people, remember you eat a hot dog and you take your wrapper and you put it in an airplane, you just chucked it on the field. Probably took out some lady's eyeball on the way down that didn't make it on the field. But there was so much trash on the field back in the day.
Blowing around.
And now it looks awesome. It's so great. I mean, Petco Park is beautiful. Dodger Stadium has so much history. Yankee Stadium has history to it. These are museums that stand. Why would you mess this up when business is booming?
Allison, you think about the cathedrals of baseball. Obviously, kind of starts with Yankee Stadium, but you've got Fenway, you've got Wrigley, you've got the Pittsburgh Pirates, who haven't done squat,
awesome ballpark,
have one of the most awesome ballparks in all of Major League Baseball. Beautiful. And what we have here up and down the West Coast, and where the Giants are playing, right there on the water. And
the Mariners is beautiful.
It all comes down to greed. And then you got the Players Association lead, Tony Clark, who just steps aside for some improprieties there, which really I think is going to put the Players Union behind the 8 ball a little bit as they go into negotiations. You see it that way?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which side is going to have to acquiesce here and really give. I hope both sides aren't just so stubborn that they can't come to an agreement. I know there were meetings held in spring training clubhouses yesterday with players only meetings just about this issue. I know Jake Cronenworth is on the group of, I don't know how many are on it from around what?
Yeah. He's on the executive board. He's one of the 8.
Yeah, the executive board, correct. Yeah, so I know he was talking about it a little bit in an interview I heard with him. So I think that one side, they're both going to have to give something. Do players want to waste their careers? Do owners want to have a gap in play where they're not bringing in money to their stadiums? They've got to figure it out.
What is this going to do to Cubs fans and Dodger fans, Steve?
It's funny.
That really is the big question. Explain why I ask it that way.
Okay, so yesterday, as we do the show today, the big story came out. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah.
Again, he's wearing Team USA uniform for the World Baseball Classic. Grew up in Los Angeles. His mom's an actress. And grew up going to Dodger games. And he comes out saying how much he loves Chicago. He goes, I love Chicago more and more each day. And the Cub fans are real fans. They aren't like Dodger fans who show up to the stadium just to take pictures. Big mistake. Every time
huge
the
mistake.
Cubs play the Dodgers, I imagine there are going to be tons of pictures sent to Pete Crow Armstrong's social media accounts, just filling them up. Pete, here we are back at Dodger Stadium. But here's the deal. Pete is a businessman. So when he becomes a free agent.
Is he, though?
Not a good one. Because when he becomes a free agent, the team that has the most money in the bank is something you might want to use as leverage to the Cubs of saying, the Dodgers are offering me this. Now, I think, honestly, it was a horrible business decision, but also I think it's a little bitter that the guy that played right field right next to him and Kyle Tucker went to the Dodgers. And I think it was one of those of, hey, I'm fine where I'm at.
Yeah.
He plays, by the way, he plays right now for the Major League Baseball minimum. So if you want to be a guy that makes the $40 million a year, and he should be one of those guys down the line,
exactly.
You just took the Dodgers out of the race.
Well, Allison, you talk to a lot of guys, and they're like, yeah, it'd be great to go home and play for my hometown team that I grew up watching or where I grew up. I'm not saying it's everyone's dream in Major League Baseball, but a guy like Armstrong, and then to come out and it's just the lack of sense on his part, to Dave's point, the lack of business sense on his part might be one of the biggest financial mistakes he makes in his career.
Yeah, well, maybe he figures there's plenty of other teams. Maybe he hopes the Padres will take him because he just the Dodgers. I don't know.
Or the Giants.
And maybe there's a little bitterness there because of the Kyle Tucker situation.
Right.
And also, he's putting a dig at the team that's spending the most money. There's other teams. Yes. Was it a bad business decision? Probably. But at the same time, is he wrong?
Well, again, you're throwing. Why would you throw a stray at the Dodgers? Dodger fans will never forget that. Like, he'll never be welcome in a Dodger uniform of any chance.
God.
Here on out. But the team that's writing the biggest checks, you just made an enemy. It doesn't seem to make sense.
And kiss away any chance you had of ever getting a ring, because I don't think the Cubs are going to get it done in 26.
But maybe he doesn't want to ever go to LA, and that's okay.
Maybe that's it. All right, so what is it like being a working woman, a mom, and an NFL wife? Erica Snyder has written a great book on just that. She'll tell us what it's like juggling that kind of schedule next. You're enjoying Offside Sports, brought to you by 8 Beer. Cheers to the chase. We're back after this.